Hi, and welcome to Paper Route Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm turning scraps into embellishments. All right, so today we are going to be making some embellishments for a swap over on Ginger's Corner, and we're going to be just using some scraps up. So these are the scraps that I pulled from my cardstock scrap bin to make these embellishments, and I just picked some images from my SVG files. So this particular one was from Miss Kate Cuttables, and I will link her site down below. And I chose 3 elements for this particular swap. It is called Under Construction, and you can swap anything to do with home improvement projects. So I chose a hammer, a measuring tape, and a level, and I thought those are pretty good for home improvement items. And this was from a collection on Miss Kate Cuttables called Mr. Fix-It. So I'm just going to set these aside, and I'm going to pull out enough to do one set of these off of the mats. So I left them on the mats this time because there felt like there was a lot of pieces, just pieces, and I didn't want to make a big mess of things. And I had a bit of an issue with the black circle for the measuring tape, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So like I said, I just threw some scraps on some mats, ran them through the Cricut, and voila, we have all the pieces we need to make some fun embellishments for the swap. So over on Ginger's Corner, they do a whole bunch of different kinds of swaps. One of them is a like main swap, so I think it's called, and it's a monthly swap. So they pick one theme per month, and I think we actually vote on that one. So there's usually 2 options, everybody votes, and then whatever was the most popular, that's what we swap. So I think this month it was Green with Envy, and so everybody is swapping green items for the monthly swap. You make 10 of the same thing, you send it to your captain, and the captain sends you back 10 different items. So 10 items that are not the ones that you made. So it's kind of like a batch scrapbooking sort of idea. So you like I'm making 5 of the same thing, the same elements, embellishments, and I am going to send 4 of them away. So everybody will get one of these, and I'll get 4 different things in return. That's called a mini swap. So mini swaps happen once a week, and they're a bit smaller, so everybody is careful to make sure that it fits in like a letter-sized envelope, that sort of thing, and also makes sure that we have smaller teams, so we don't have to make as many. Yeah, it's lots of fun. Another one that I really like that they've been doing is a memory decks swap. So memory decks cards, if you've ever seen that, that's a Heidi swap kind of thing. And so I really like those 2. I've found a Rolodex, old school Rolodex at a thrift shop, and started making swapping the memory decks cards and then adding to it. And once it's all kind of full-ish, I'm gonna take it to work and put it on my desk. I think it'll be a good conversation piece for my coworkers. And I'm just trying to figure these, like which ones go with what and which way they go. I think this one goes so that it sticks outside. There we go. And the hammer. Okay, So we can start putting these together. So for the level, it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces plus these 2 little lines. So if you didn't want to fuss with those 2 little lines, you could always draw those on too. We'll do a little bit of something like that in a little while. So I'm just going to grab my glue and my tweezers. This is what I primarily use to put these kinds of things together. So yes, over on Ginger's Corner, they do all kinds of different swaps. We just did, like they call them special swaps. So something that doesn't happen all the time, but it's kind of fun to do. Doily swap, which I was like, that's a really good idea, because if you ever got like a pack of doilies for crafting and there's like 50 in a pack and you're like, well, do I really want 50 of the same doilies? And yeah, so then if you're swapping them, then you send 10 of the same one from that one package that you got where you had 50 of the same thing, and then you get 10 different doilies back. So that gives you like 10 different kinds of elements to use on your page. So I thought that was a really great idea, because especially for something like that that comes in like, you know, layers and layers of the exact same thing. So I thought that was really cute. So I did that one too. Okay, I think that's gonna stick. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm having trouble getting it to stay. So I'm just gonna put some glue on and get it to stick to this piece. So that's the background. And this piece that I used, this scrap, it's actually from like a kit. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I kept the that cardstock sheet that was in there and just used the back side of it instead of wasting it in the recycling bin. Sorry, my nose is running. Okay, so then I'm just gonna make sure this one stays down, because I don't think, yeah, it should be good. Okay, and then just this goes over top and just kind of covers up all of that kind of mismatched kind of stuff. I might put some on the tops and bottoms. There we go. Squish those together. Is anybody else playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches? I love those sketches. There's some really fun inspiration in there. And I've been having fun with those. I've been going live every day for the month of March, or at least that's my hope. Every day that I'm home, anyways. I know there will be a couple days where I can't, but yeah, I'm hoping to go live once a day to just do one quick layout according to the sketch and then count up my points, because I'm also playing along with the Calvin Ball challenge. Is anybody playing Calvin Ball? Calvin Ball's a free challenge where you add up points and stuff, and there's no like prizes or anything, but it's just for fun. And I really like it. It gets me like thinking about products and, you know, what do I have? What could I add? And sometimes it's things that I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like today I did a layout, because I'm recording this obviously in advance, but today the layout I did was like board games. And so I was like, yeah, there's not going to be a flower on here, because it was my brother and my son, and there was just, I don't know, no casual way to throw a flower on there or sequins, or like sometimes the things just don't work out right. But another time I did one that was like basketball themed, and the team's colors were, the one team was red, black, and gray and white, and then the other team was like blue and gray. So I was like, yeah, again, one of the prompts was green, and I'm like, there's not going to be any green on here. That would just look weird. But And there was nothing green in my papers or my stickers for that collection either. So I was like, yeah, that's, but it really is fun to like get things that are like random on there where you're like, it says arrow. Well, I don't have an arrow, but I could put an arrow. Or it says staple. Well, I wasn't gonna staple anything, but I could staple something. And just kind of reminds me to use those, like to use my tiny attacher and to use my arrow punch and, you know, things like that. It's kind of fun. I like it. And yeah, I'm hoping that as I keep making the videos that some people will come and watch live and might enjoy that sometimes. So, and then there's like a day I think too where I'm hosting an event at my local scrapbook store, so then obviously I'm not going to be online during that. So anyway, there we go. So the issue I was having with these is that I couldn't get it to cut that little thing out. It would do the first one. Where's the other ones like that? It would do the first one, and then the other ones, it would like tear them like this. So at first I thought it was maybe my paper, but I tried it with 3 different black cardstocks and it just kept doing this. So I don't know if it was that particular cut file not wanting to work, or if it was something like the machine was not connecting. I'm not really sure, but I decided it's not a big deal. I'm just going to punch some black circles and I will use the one that actually worked, and I will trace that little, what do you call that? Like shadow, or I don't know. What are these lines called where it shows like dimension or whatever? So I was like, I'll just trace it in there and it will be fine. And I think it is. So there you go. So that is my contribution to the Scraps to Embellishment swap for Ginger's Corner. And Ginger has one rule on Ginger's Corner, and that is there is no wrong way to scrapbook. So there is also no wrong way to make swaps. There's no wrong paper. There's no wrong, like everybody does, we assume everybody's doing their best with what products and tools that they have, and we just give and receive with a loving heart. So I love that about her, and I think it's why I've stuck with her group, is because it's just so all-inclusive. And then on the back we just put our names. I like to put the year, so that when somebody down the road goes to use these, they'll know who they got them from. Because I like to know. I like when I add something to my page, if it was made by someone else, I like to know who to thank. And it helps me to think about my Ginger's Corner people when I'm creating. So that's that. And then with my scraps, I just wanted to show again, and I think I've shown this previously, but I'm going to show you guys again after I'm done making all of my pieces. So there's my pieces, my hammer, my measuring tape, and my level. Where did I put my trimmer? I like to take the scraps that are left. Okay, so, and then I like to cut them down and put what's still usable into my scrap bin. So I have like a folio kind of thing that holds my bigger scraps like this, and then I have a drawer, a smaller drawer, because I don't like digging to the bottom of that folio, so I have a smaller drawer for things that are under like 6 inches. So if it fits basically in a sandwich bag, it goes in the drawer. If it doesn't fit in a sandwich bag, it goes in the folio. Okay, so I like to just cut those down, and then if they are smaller than, so this would be less than 3 inches. If it can't make a 3x4 card, I don't keep it. Okay, so that's going to go over there. This one should. So I will just cut all of those pieces down and return those to my scrap bins. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to show that part because sometimes I like to know how other people decide like what stays and what goes, you know? And then like, do you have a size that's specific? So like, is this gonna be, no, so that's not gonna stay. This one, no. This one will be, so we'll keep this. So these are going to scraps, these are not. Okay. This one, nope. This one will on this side. Okay, so that's not. And this is. And then we have this square will save because it's bigger than 3 inches. And same with this one. Now, if I go this way, is it bigger than 3? I don't think so. No, definitely not. Okay. So then what happens with these ones is they, like I said, they all go back into my, where I store my scraps. And my scraps are primarily, I usually keep my scraps with the collection, and then when I'm done with the collection, they go in the garbage. But anything that is, or not garbage, recycling bin, anything that is solid colored or like tone on tone goes into my scrap bin. So mostly it's cardstock scraps, which is fine. So then from there, I pick some common shapes that I think I can use later. And I will I'll punch those scraps into shapes so that they're not all going into the recycling bin just yet. And then sometimes I will add these also into my envelopes when I send my embellishments. Oh, that one didn't cut very nicely, so I'm going to cut it to something smaller. And other times I just have this tray that sits on, it actually sits next to my cutting station where I keep my dies. And that way, when I cut something or need something a little bit extra, this one's not cut properly, this one is, then I can just throw that into this little tray. And then when I'm looking for a little bit of a something, like I need an arrow for my, that's what I should be cutting right now, is arrows and stars and hearts, because those are all on my Calvin ball list. So let me grab my arrow punches. Punch, singular, I only have one. And make some of those, because that'll be helpful if I already know I'm using those for Calvin ball, right? Why not stick to the theme? So there's 3 of those. And then we'll make some of these smaller ones. Oops. I'm getting junky pieces. Because there's 2 arrows in there. Okay, so there's some smaller ones. There we go. And then I feel like that scrap is actually like really used up, and then it can go in the recycling bin, right? And then I do try, like, for example, that's red. So let me grab a heart punch, you know, because if I'm gonna, not, hearts can't be any color whatsoever. In scrapbooking, they can come in every color, right? We love a rainbow of hearts. But then why not have, you know, 1 or 2 that are maybe gonna coordinate. We'll go with this. And then this one has like its own little, this is a Creative Memories, an old Creative Memories one. I love this one. There we go. And see how that's so much more used up than it was before. And then I feel like better about tossing it. Does that make sense? And then here again, I could make some hearts. Oops. It's not one thing to, I like slid the thing so then it's not like punching or whatever. So there we go. So you get the gist. So yeah, then I'm gonna just go through and I'll punch all of those before I get them into the recycle bin. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I really love hearing from you guys, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. If you have any questions, let me know, and have a great day. Bye for now.